Good morning, everyone. I'm Julia, and I'm going to present this paper entitled "Perfectionism: Intrinsic versus Extrinsic Motivation and Motivated Strategy for Learning," a multi-dimensional analysis of university students. And the authors are Jennifer Mills, Kirk Blankenstein. And the content of the slides, including introduction, method, results, and discussion. Let's talk about introduction. And the multi-dimensional nature of perfectionism and its linkage to both maladaptive traits and negative outcomes. And that frequently adaptive traits and positive outcomes has generated much research during the past 2 decades. And therefore, there are some researchers define what perfectionism it is, and divide it into different types, and such as Haywood and Flatt in 1991. They described 3 dimensions of perfectionism. First, self-oriented perfectionism, and it characterizes those individuals who set high standards for themselves, and they try to meet those standards only for themselves. And second, social prescriptive perfectionism, and those individuals just try to please others and to meet those standards. And third one is other-oriented perfectionism. Just those individuals try to ask someone to meet the standards. And also, Frost and Martin in 1990, they independently describe another and identify another perfectionism. Their measures identifies the dimension of excessive concern over making mistake, high personal standards, perception of high parental expectations and parental criticism, doubt regarding the quality of one's action, and a preference for order and organization. And so this present study tried to examine the relationship between dimension of perfectionism and aspects of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation dispositions in university students. And also they try to examine the relations between perfectionism and its dimension and the motivation specific to academics in university students. And there are 4 hypotheses. First, self-oriented perfectionism may be motivated on a given task by extrinsic factors as well as by intrinsic factors. And second, they try to test the hypothesis that there are distinct and differential links between a dimension of perfectionism and the use of learning strategies in a specific university course. And the third one, they try to test self-oriented perfectionism would be associated with positive and adaptive learning behaviors. And fourth, other-oriented perfectionism would not be relative or weakly related to motivation and learning strategies. And the final goal is to test the association between perfectionism dimension and the motivation and the learning strategy after removing the variance due to other perfectionism dimension. For example, if they try to focus on self-oriented perfectionism, they will remove another They will try to remove the social prescriptive perfectionism and the other oriented perfectionism. Yes. And the methods including participants. There are 207 undergraduate students, and they enrolled in a 2-semester introductory psychology course, and they are all from the University of Toronto at Mississauga, and there are 133 female and 74 male. The mean age is 20.4 years old. And the authors use three materials. First, the multidimensional perfectionism scale, and we use MPS to stand for this. And the second one is work preference inventory, WPI, student version. And the third one is the motivated strategy for learning question. We use MSLQ to stand for it. And as for the procedure, participants will administer questionnaires packages in small groups. And the measures of interest to this present study were randomly embedded in order to counterbalance the order among the other psychological measures. And let's look at results. First, a descriptive statistic. Let's see the table 1. Except the high help seeking here. Except this one, other or subscales were approximate or exceeded the minimum of criteria of reliability. Here, see the combo of data here. And second is zero order correlation. Let's see table 2. And zero order correlation between perfectionism and the work preference inventory and the motivated strategy for learning questionnaire are all shown in this table. And for WPI, that means the perfectionism type. For example, for self-oriented, it is significantly positively related to extrinsic motivation and compensation motivation and outer world motivation. And for social prescribed perfectionism, it is positive related to extrinsic motivation, but also outer world motivation. But it is negative with challenge. This one. And for other oriented perfectionism, it is most related to extrinsic motivation and compensation motivation. And as for MSLQ, that is motivated strategy for learning questionnaire. For self-oriented perfectionism, it is most related to extrinsic goal orientation, self-efficacy, task value, task anxiety, intrinsic orientation, and also the learning strategy for the one I draw here. Yeah, these are the most positive and significant positive with the self-oriented perfectionism. And for social prescriptive perfectionism, it is most related to task anxiety because they try to meet others' high standard. So that's why it is related. And also it is negative to effort management and the time and the study. And for other orientation perfectionism, it is most related extrinsic goal orientation and peer learning and help seeking.